some crew sharing their weekly sad comments and spreading their toy anxiety. We've got Geeking Out with Geek Dad Life. D Amazing and his amazing skills.
Here it come. Here it come.
Scoring. Displaying model behavior with the proper U. Displaying model behavior. Displaying model behavior. Displaying model behavior.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behavior, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about my personal action figure display and collection. Yeah, let's not stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne. Let's take a look at them. So here we go. I never know what to say with these commentaries, so let's just dive in. This is my first shelf, which as you can see is just kind of a mismatch of some classic Marvel characters and maybe some unusual iterations of them as well. Rather than trying to get full sets, I just want to show off and showcase figures that I'm a huge fan of. The Netflix Daredevil was a gift from a dear friend of mine, as was the Mezco Moon Knight. Absolutely love that guy. The Stealth Iron Man I think is beautiful. Psylocke and Gambit, I had them with my Sentinel display, but it got a bit too cluttered and I felt they weren't really shown off, so they got more of a showcase here. The gorgeous retro black costume Spider-Man. This one, not Taskmaster, Crossbones, that's it of course, with the nuke jacket on there. I think he looks really cool, a nice little kit bash. Then we got some of the big heavy hitters with Red Skull, Magneto, Doctor Doom as well. Doom one day to be replaced with the Mezco one when that comes out. Love Deluxe War Machine. I think the new War Machine coming out looks nice, but I don't think it's worth the upgrade. And then we have sort of the sister shelf where again, big Marvel heavy hitters from all different lines and brands. Got the Mezco Captain America there. I got him cheap because he's got a broken ankle, but he stands perfectly well. Wolverine going to be replaced with the Mezco soon. Got Mezco Iron Man. This is more classic Marvel heroes, but some unusual iterations in there too. Potential figure of the year, Doctor Strange. Love that guy. Mezco Thanos. So many people hate him. I adore Mezco Thanos. Got the Mafex Ben Reilly, because you've got to represent Ben Reilly. And God bless Select for re-releasing the Watcher. That was just such a clever move on their part. So I'm still on the fence about Mafex Scarlet Spider. Maybe, who knows. But Mezco 2099, yes, he's wearing a sock. But what a brilliant looking sock it is. I adore him. I really, really do. And Ren Revoltech Cable. I just fell in love with this guy when I saw him. I love the slightly mangery kind of style that still blends with the rest of the Legends. That's my favorite shelf right there. Probably should have finished with that. Anyway, we've got my Ben Reilly display now. I'm not totally happy with how it's laid out, but my favorite figure, or one of them, is this Hot Toy Scarlet Spider. That was just one of the most generous gifts I've ever received. I adore that figure. Then of course the old school Carnage, the beautiful sensational Spider-Man, and my two Clone Saga customs. The Kane and Spider side from my buddy Stepan, such a talented creator. Going down now, we've got my sort of movie TMNT type characters. You've got Gorilla Grodd, Violator, Mortal Kombat 11, Shao Kahn, Mandarin Spawn. I feel they would all fit that Jim Henson kind of aesthetic, along with the Tengu Warrior as well. The Tengu Warrior! And these NECA turtles are still some of my absolute favorites. They just look like the Jim Henson creations were shrunk down. They're just stunning. Now this slightly sparse area here is for my Cosmic set, which will be bolstered by the Cosmic Legions when they eventually arrive. But I've got a couple of customs in here from my buddy Robert, who does some amazing work. Got the Mandalorians, of course, random little Warhammer character there. So that's that Detolf. And then one of my favorite random little figures is the Gans Boy, the little Japanese style salaryman with his quirky design, and he just looks like a figure from a Wes Anderson stop-motion animation movie. I just adore him. Now, we've got mythical-looking characters, but again, a mismatch. We've got this dude Aether and Atheron from Mythic Legions, the beautiful Atticus Doom. Oh, I was so psyched to get my hands on him. The gorgeous NECA Ming the Merciless, big old Super Shredder, Lord Zed. They kind of fit a aesthetic. aesthetic. The Curse of Spawn from my friend Leanne. They look so great together. No business being together, but they just work with the Alpha Predator too. I just love how these have all been put together. I just think it works. It just works. And then I got to admit, this is a complete mismatch. No logic. But some of my all-time favorite figures. Mezco Krieg, Streets of Rage, Axel from Storm Collectibles, Mezco Hawk P40, a big old Spawn, which is a birthday present from my brother-in-law there. They've got the Power Rangers TMNT Shredder mashup, and tiny little RoboCop figures, all the way from a gacha machine in Japan. Now, speaking of Streets of Rage, got the awesome little 3D Streets of Rage picture there, and big-ass Megatron. Love this guy. It's over prime. I thought if I have any Transformers, I want them to scale with everything else. So you gotta get almost 1/12 scale. Now we've got my much smaller Mortal Kombat display. I realized I came to the great moment of clarity that I don't need every single character. I just need the ones that I really like. So that meant selling off a lot of figures that I had because I wanted to be a completionist. And then I realized that there was not any completionist police who were going to knock on my door and demand to see my complete collection. So now I've just got the ones that I really love. And I will be getting more as they release more that I fall in love with. Hey, look, there's me in my short shorts. Howdy. Now, speaking of not being a completionist, this is just the G.I. Joes that I really want to keep my hands on. And again, that goes with saying that when a display gets too cluttered, I find it just becomes a mess of plastic. Nothing stands out, nothing gets showcased. So instead, strip away some of the unnecessary ones. Same with the Cobra display here. The Cobra display is a little more cluttered because, dang it, they've got more cool looking figures. Storm Shadow right up at the front though. Oh, such a great figure. And so many donations here as well from my buddy Mark and of course Francis. They've helped me out with some amazing additions. Thrown in the Valaverse Scarabs as well, and a bunch of bats too. I'm not an army building guy, but I couldn't resist getting another Scarab and a couple of bats because they just look so great. Then you've got the main model behavior backdrop. So we got the Spider-Man A-list display, basically. Soon to have Venom, Scorpion, and Lizard joining the ranks there. And then that will be the full Spider-Man Classic Villains set. I feel that will be everyone complete. And I got rid of some of the B and C and D tier characters just to have the main A-list heavy hitters. Doc Ock gonna be replaced with a Mezco one day when that one gets released. Love the classic Hobgoblin too. If I just had one Marvel Legends display, it would be classic Spider-Man. Got the Life Foundation symbiotes. They were on the chopping block. And then Hasbro announced Riot and Agony, and I was like, yes! Thank goodness I kept hold of them. And that gives me faith we might finish the Thunderbolts too. Who knows? Then there's classic 20th anniversary Captain America. Love this dude. Even with the Mezco one, I couldn't part with him. He's just too nice. And then finally, we go on into the Age of Apocalypse display. I so hope we get a Wave 3. That would make me so happy. If we don't get a Wave 3, at least maybe they can scatter in a few more characters in different waves here and there, because I would love to really round out that display, because that was the story, that was the big deal when I started reading, and it blew my mind in the mid-90s. Then we have Optimus Prime. Because if you're going to have Megatron, you gotta have Prime to ensure that sentient beings maintain freedom in their life. And this just, it's one of my top 5 like desert island action figures. Optimus Prime would absolutely be there. And then we have the ultimate X-Men display here, which is less cluttered now that I've taken a few characters out so that everyone else can really shine. Got the lovely Mezco Cyclops, the Beast, who I'm not going to update because that Beast is fine there with his shouty Sentinel fighting face. Xavier probably not being much help battling a Sentinel with his telepathy, but there you go. It's easy for me to say. And then, of course, Storm, Rogue, Wolverine, brown costume Wolverine with some bespoke metal claws, and just the beautiful Sentinel itself. Ah, geez Louise, such a great display. It just makes me happy. It makes me happy to look at. And that's what displays should do. Guys, thank you so much for watching this little collection tour, and it was a little collection tour. Guys who have been watching this channel for a long time will know like what my collection was like when it was at critical mass. So I've really pared things down to like the absolute prime cuts, and honestly, looking around, I'm really digging it right now. So folks, thanks very much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Have a coffee.